the players, what they're doing, they're assigning a certificate of provenance for the chess sets. The House of Staunton makes these really beautiful DGT-enabled triple-weighted chess sets, and you can own a piece of history if you would like to own the set that Wesley So played in round 7 against Fabiano. You can do that, and there you have it.
It's showtime, Yasser.
Showtime.
And
bring it, Fabi.
absolutely.
Something
Fabiano
wrong with the clock.
with the white pieces. Okay, the arbiter steps in, presses the clock, and Fabiano opening up with D4. It's a big question for Wesley. Will he take it easy? Will he play solid chess?
Of course, he's going to play the most solid he can. I'm just a little bit taken aback. It was always very funny. I enjoyed the game of basketball a lot. And it was like the tall men in the center, they all want to be guards and dribble the ball up the court. And the guards all want to be big men in the center and block shots. Bobby, I've always associated with one E2, E4, full stop, end of story. E2, E4 is his go-to opening. Now he's playing D2, D4. He's being ambidextrous. He wants to take Wesley out of his Berlins. But what he's going to get instead could be a Queen's Gambit accepted, Peter. Could be a Nimzo Indian. I mean, D2, D4, hard to be a master.
The last time they played in the Blitz,
yeah.
Fabi opened up with D4.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has to be universal these days, Joey. You got to play everything.
Yeah, I would agree with you that Fabi, for me, in my eyes, he's always been predominantly a 1E4 player,
sure.
But he is extremely well booked up, can play more or less anything. It's not a surprise that perhaps today he didn't really want to deal with the Berlins,
right?
Or the anti-Berlins. Wesley, interestingly, taking a bit of a pause here. I guess he also felt that D4 is perhaps less likely than E4,
sure.
and he needs to kind of regather his thought. It's not going to be a complete shock, but I don't think I've ever seen Wesley take a long pause on move 1, and this is a bit interesting that he is now trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, I can imagine the scene. He's in his hotel room, 15 minutes before the game, and he's just looked at every single kind of Berlin that he could have expected, right? He gets to the board, there's one D4 on the table, so it's like, okay, you have to completely do a rethink, and you have to ask yourself, well, what is it that Bobby has seen in my repertoire that Bobby's
exactly
Nimzo Indian?
And
Nimzo Indian on the board.
This is enjoying a bit of a resurgence, because at some point I felt that white players were not really all that eager to allow the Nimzo, and they would switch to the Queen's Gambit of ideas by starting with Knight of 3, either the Queen's Indian defense or the Ragozin in the Queen's Gambit. And these days, even in this tournament, we have seen a bunch of Nimzos already. So
exactly,
it seems like people are less unhappy about allowing it.
E2, E3 on the board, Rubinstein, Nimzo, and C7, C5. Okay, that's old school.
let's go.
Wesley,
to
quick
the
shake
game
of the head. He
because-
didn't see an answer to Queen C7.
And he resigned, and well, there we see Fabiano Caruana winning in how many moves?
24, I think.
Oh, sorry, I got the wrong.
moves.
Sorry.
What a game there from Fabiano Caruana. What a disappointment for Wesley. It just went wrong from the opening, and one big mistake just set off a catalyst for more bad decisions.
Like you said, a little knowledge. It was a bad thing. This move B7, B6 was time. I mean, Wesley knew he needed to play B6 in some variation. Overlooked Queen F3. Queen F3 landed on the board, and it was splat.
Absolutely, and yeah, with that, the rating race heats up, and the implications of this for both the circuit race and the rating race are something that we can discuss for a very long time, because I think both have become a lot closer.
Yes.
But you found this also nice sacrifice, Bishop F7.
Yeah, no, I think what I did was very clean, but of course everything should be strong. Like, the point is if castle and bishop e5 is probably just winning an exchange, because I take at bishop e4, and if e5, then queen f3, I think simply. And again, he's just not developed. I think like one important thing detail I saw, which really convinced me, was like queen c5, I have 94, this ends it completely.
Yeah.
Because it takes...
Yes, good, in 96, okay.
Queen c4, 96, and 94 queen...
I'm not so fast mid-time to realize things.
I think that after b5, it still required some calculation, because of course, I can do various moves like bishop a2, bishop e2, all very promising moves. But of course this is very forcing, because if he takes with the pawn, then it's simply checkmate. 94, 95, I don't know which I would choose, but they both look like checkmate. And then here is forced, e5 is forced. First my thought was to go for this, but then I realized that it's not so easy. Because if he takes, then bishop g4, I thought, and then f3, and he takes, and rook d8, I think, I don't know, maybe it's still winning, but I thought it's like getting a bit... maybe
Complicated,
messy.
yes.
But this was very, I didn't see anything here for him.
Knight king g6, maybe you could try to walk, but
But
not far away, yes.
And then take, I don't
You
know.
take on c6 yesterday.
Like, I didn't believe this. And
No,
then if
knight
rook
f4.
h, c8, queen e4. I mean, like, best case for him, he only is down a pawn with a miserable position.
Exactly.
Okay, I thought maybe he can play rook b6 here or something. But okay, he gave me the second pawn, and now it's completely
No,
hopeless.
yeah, now it's completely winning 1 second game in a row. How do you feel about it?